Ganondorf is evil as the grass is green and the sky is blue. There's nothing you can do about it. Boo. What's up, my homies? It's Edible Incredible, and today we're gonna dive into Ocarina of Time, The Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and finally Tears of the Kingdom to reveal what drives Ganondorf to the dark side in each installment, with the ultimate goal being what is his why in Tears of the Kingdom, because he seems to be engulfed with hatred and evil towards the Kingdom of Hyrule and its inhabitants. Every other iteration of Ganondorf across history has always had a reason, despite how brutal and malicious their actions were. Ocarina of Time Ganon grew up in a brutal climate, the Gerudo Desert. Life was significantly harder than the rest of Hyrule, and when he found out how the royal family lived, he was envious, fueling him to deceptively pledge his allegiance to the King of Hyrule. And while doing so, he overheard a young princess talk to some forest boy about the Triforce. So he snuck into the Temple of Time and laid his hands on the sacred relic, granting him the Triforce of power. This enabled him to take firm control of the world for 7 years, making Hyrule Castle his home. He felt the royal family undeservingly resided in the most luxurious part of Hyrule, especially when compared to a desert where many were swept away by the harsh climate. He ruled with an iron fist, forcing the residents of Castletown to flee to Kakariko, the ones that made it, that is. In The Wind Waker, Ganondorf, who is the same person as Ocarina of Time, longed to unflood the land, to revert the god's seal. He desired this more than anything else, even above having more power. Prior to The Wind Waker, the gods flooded Hyrule to combat the return of Ganondorf, as once the hero of time defeated Ganondorf, he left this adult timeline to regain his lost time. After being sealed for the second time, Ganondorf began to reflect on what his soul truly craved. Stepping back from the demonic urges that plagued him in the past, he realized that all he wanted to gaze upon the green fields of Hyrule one more time. After finally breaking free of his second seal, he went below the waves where Hyrule Castle once stood. Simply for nostalgic purposes, he built Ganon's Tower at this location. At first, he doesn't even want to kill Link and Zelda, as he doesn't want them plagued by the same cycle of events that he's found himself endlessly tied to. Very interestingly, this is a direct opposite viewpoint when comparing it to his final moments prior to being sealed in Ocarina of Time. Someday, when the seal is broken, that is when I will exterminate your descendants. It's fascinating what time, isolation, and self-reflection will do to even the baddest of villains. He does go crazy after the King of Hyrule steals his wish, but the growth of his character in this timeline is bar none. Wind Waker is in the same reality where he does lose to the hero of time. His final wish was for Hyrule to return to its former glory, that being with him as the ruler, but not at the cost of killing younglings. Yo, this comment is perfect. Ganon doesn't even care if the only person that can kill him is left alive. Hell, I'd bet that this matured version of Ganondorf low-key wants a hero around just to keep things interesting. Think about it, he's been alone for so long in his life. 7 years chilling in Hyrule Castle, then he was sealed in the Sacred Realm for roughly another 100 years, before being sealed again beneath the waves for another approximate century. So, if he rules Hyrule once more, I think he would want a young hero around who would slowly mature himself, giving Ganon something entertaining to look forward to. That's how we humans function as well. The moment everything is quote-unquote perfect, you suddenly receive everything you've ever wanted. The first moment you could, you would change something. We humans are not meant to be stagnant. We need something to chase, something to achieve, a battle to fight. Little does Ganondorf know in this moment that this young hero is already capable of defeating him. In Twilight Princess, Ganondorf's reason is much more simple. His motive was purely fueled by revenge, as the royal family punished him to death for a crime he didn't even commit. Yet his plan was to commit these crimes eventually. He was stunned that the royal family found out about this beforehand, as the hero of time came from the future and told them about Ganondorf's intention. For those that don't know, this game takes place in the child timeline. So after Link defeated Ganondorf in the adult timeline, he went back and told Zelda about how crazy Ganondorf became. Before Ganondorf even knew it, he was chained up and prepared to take his final breath, when the Triforce of Power suddenly chose him. So he busted free and killed one of the sages. But he was still sent to the Twilight Realm as a final resort. At this point, Ganondorf's mind was in a daze. He was almost killed for reasons that baffled him, though he was granted the power of the gods. This strengthened his belief as the chosen one. Even before he was born, he was already destined to be the king of the Gerudo, simply because he was born a male. Everything was handed to him on a silver platter. That is, until he ran into the royal family of Hyrule. But once again, right when he thought he was about to be executed, he was granted the power to fight back. How could he not in this moment feel that he was the chosen one against the royal family? In his perspective, it was clear the royal family were the villains, so he decided that he will bathe Hyrule in twilight for outcasting his people and labeling him as the villain. In his point of view, an eye for an eye. When directly comparing, Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf's intentions mostly resemble Ocarina of Time. He also falsely pledged his allegiance to the King of Hyrule. He felt the remaining two Zonai did not deserve to possess the secret stones. He tells King Rauru after killing his queen, "You tried to control me, Rauru, and you will die knowing that you failed." Ganondorf, with his thick ego, felt he should have been more involved with Hyrule's expeditions, not cast it aside. And when he found out that they had the powerful secret stones, he was pissed. If you notice, in the bowing cutscene, the camera acts as his eyes, as you can see it slowly shift to Rauru's secret stone, Zelda's secret stone, and then to Sonia's secret stone. This bothers him as the king of the Gerudo. Ganondorf believes that he should have a secret stone, as Rauru does describe him as the hero to his people. He feels he is being controlled by King Rauru, while also not being acknowledged for his talents. Ganon longs to have a voice, to have a say in important matters. He feels he should at least be in the room when Rauru and Sonia are discussing ways to uphold peace. I theorize the moment that made Ganondorf snap was the appearance of Princess Zelda. They hand a secret stone to some random young girl who they just casually decided to inherit. Little does he know, Zelda actually got this stone from his seal in the future, as Rauru left it behind for her. But from Ganondorf's perspective, this girl suddenly appeared alongside the royal family, and before she was even introduced to the public, she was already granted a secret stone. This sickened Ganondorf to his core. He's been fighting tooth and nail for his people, representing what a true king must do. Yet someone who hasn't shown any promise is selected over him? Just as instantaneously as Princess Zelda entered this world, Ganondorf's mind was suddenly clear. He'll steal a secret stone, killing anyone in his way, and then he'll show the world how a true king operates. Once he captured the stone, the villainous curse placed upon him before birth fully took control of his mind and body, transforming him into the Demon King. He still holds on to his viewpoint and belief of how the world should function. Once Link walks in for the battle that has been predestined for a deca-millennium, Ganondorf reverts back to his former self all that time ago and says, "I will reshape this world as it was meant to be. This is what a king must do." His deep hatred for King Rauru's rule drove him to establish his own version of Hyrule, one without the peace that King Rauru promised to uphold for generations, one without a distribution of power, one with him and him only as the ruler. Who knows if Ganondorf still would have been blinded by Demise's curse if Rauru brought him in and didn't control him from a distance, as Ganondorf claims. Who knows what would unfold if Princess Zelda never showed up, but I feel her sudden inheritance into the royal family put a nail into the coffin for Ganondorf's psyche, prompting him to crash out and spawning a beast that would plague Hyrule for countless generations. Age of Imprisonment this winter should shed more light on Ganondorf's mind. What do you think is the reason behind Ganondorf's hatred towards Rauru and Sonia? Do you agree with my theory and thoughts? What is your perspective on this Ganondorf? And well, as always, I hope you all stay hyped. So you listened to my crazy ass for almost 10 minutes. Why don't you click that magical like and subscribe? It'll force me to make more of these videos. Love you guys. Peace!